Shalom, shalom, everybody. It's your brother Yaakov. Back again this week. All praises to the Most High to talk about something that near and dear to my heart. I don't know how anybody else would feel about it, but just was compelled to speak on it, man. It's like I don't understand how somebody can. I understand how, but it's just like wild to me how people can play both sides. Like they can be on one hand, they coming out, they committed to the Most High, rah rah rah, and going super hard. And then you see them go right back to the same stuff that they was doing before, and like almost like they abandoned the Most High. And I just don't see how people do it, not in like judging their character, but I don't see how they do it and get away with it. Because I know for a fact, every time I try to do something that's like that, I know to be against what his calling on my life is, it never goes according to plan. I had a recent reminder for real. Like I'm not perfect. I slip up. I get tempted. Certain things sound good to me, and I say, hey, let me give it a try. Pardon me. I'm real funny about stuff being even, and the fact that my strings is like one is up and one is down is bothering me. It probably ain't bothering nobody else. Y'all probably looking at it like, man, leave your clothes alone and talk, which is what I'm about to do. But just one of my little idiosyncrasies, my little weirdo tendencies and qualities. Not real life weirdo, but weird. Somebody would think it was weird. But let's get into this message. Joshua chapter 24, verses 14 and 15. Now therefore, fear Yah and serve him in sincerity and truth. Cast aside the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye Yah, the Most High. Verse 15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve Yah, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve Yah. That's a very bold declaration and statement by our forefather, our big brother Joshua, right there. This is, excuse me, James in the New Testament, chapter 1, verses 5 through 8. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Elohim, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave in the sea, driven with the wind, and tossed. Sorry about that. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of Yah. Verse 8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. New Living Translation. If you need wisdom, ask our generous Elohim, and he will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking. Verse 6. But when you ask him, make sure your faith is in Elohim alone. Do not waver, for a person with divided loyalty is unsettled as a wave of the sea that is blown and tossed by the wind. Such people should not expect to receive anything from Yah. Their loyalty is divided between Elohim and the world. They are unstable in everything they do. This is Sirach Ecclesiasticus chapter 5, verse 9. Winnow not with every wind, and go not in every way, for so doth the sinner that have a double tongue. Good News Translation. Be certain about, we're going to do 9 and 10. Be certain about what you believe and consistent in what you say. Don't try to please everyone or agree with everything people say. You just can't go along to get along and just go with everything. This group of people over here say they like this. Say they love apples and apples is the best fruit in the world. You like, yeah, you click a like on that and you cheering and you going along with that. Yeah, apples. You got a t-shirt made with an apple on the front of it. Then these guys over here say, nah man, screw apples. We like oranges. So then you go get your shirt with your orange on it, and you campaigning with the orange people too. Like you can't be on both sides of every situation. You gotta pick a side. Certain thing you gotta stand for something, or you fall for anything. Basically, and a lot of flip-flopping goes on, man. I ain't saying nobody in particular individual. I see stuff, it ain't none of my business, but just don't understand how people do it. I do understand because I come from a background of being a super terrible people pleaser, but at some point you gotta make a stand for what you believe in and what's real to you, and let other people who dislike you have the courage to be disliked. Have the courage to be like, hey, if you want to make me a bad guy because I don't agree with you or agree with take the same stance as you, then hey, so be it. But just make sure that it's something that's true to your heart, at the end of the day. I don't just go around at the same time looking to make enemies just for the sake of making enemies either. That's not cool. But same time, you can't just stand with everybody on everything. You can't just keep going back and forth in between two opinions, being divided between two opinions like that. Like our brother, big brother Elijah said, how long will you be between two opinions? You know? This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verses 12 and 13. Woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways. Verse 13. Woe unto him that is faint hearted, for he believeth not, therefore shall he not be comforted. This is the Good News Translation. Yah is kind and merciful. He forgives our sins and keeps us safe in time of trouble. Verse 12. But those who lose their nerve are doomed. All those sinners who try to have it both ways. They want to be rah-rah for the Most High, but then they also see them benefit. Somebody offer them a check with a nice amount on there, and they like, he won't mind me doing this real quick. And like I said, a lot of people say they want to get into the world to try to influence the world, but from what I've seen, I ain't seen too many instances where somebody went into the world and influenced the world. I've seen people go into the world and get influenced, and next thing you know, they talk don't be nothing about the Most High no more. They conduct don't be nothing about the Most High no more. They be all about what the people that they was trying to change. They be acting just like them. Sometimes worse. A lot of times worse. This is Zephaniah chapter 1 verse 4. I will also stretch out my hand upon Judah and upon all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and I will cut off the remnant of Baal from this place, and the name of the Shemarims with the priests, and them that worship the host of heaven upon the housetops, and they that worship and that swear by Yah, and that swear by Malcham, and them that are turned back from Yah, and those that have not sought out Yah or inquired of him. New Living Translation. I will crush Judah and Jerusalem with my fist and destroy every last trace of their Baal worship. I will put an end to all their idolatrous priests so that even the memory of them will disappear. For they go up to their roots and bow down from the sun, moon, and stars, to the sun, moon, and stars. They claim to follow Yah, but they worship Molech too. Like, you trying to have it both ways, join it way on both sides for real. Guess they say they covering all their bases. We gonna be cool with you. We gonna be with you. But just in case what you doing don't work, we gonna be good over here too. The Most High wants you to pick a side, stay on it. Just like people, we don't want nobody to play both sides with us. You our friend, but then when you get over there with our arch nemesis or somebody don't like us and you kicking it with them too, we gonna feel a certain way about you. I done block people on social media because I would say something and they be like, oh my goodness, that is so good. And then they go to my arch nemesis or whoever that we diametrically oppose and say the same thing about them. And I wouldn't know because I don't follow anybody that I don't care for. I don't understand how people do that. How do you just follow somebody that you don't like them? You don't want to hear what they got to say. But the only reason why I would know is a person would repost something from me, and then the next story would be reposting something from somebody that I disagree with totally, and they put both things, and both of them is so good. Like, how both of them gonna be so good? They both the opposite of each other. So people like that, I just tend to block them, and I don't want to see what they talking about. I don't even want them saying what I'm talking about. Stay over there with that. Pick a side and stick to it. And I feel like that's what the Most High say too. Pick a side and stick to it. Don't try to have it both ways. Don't try to dibble and dabble. You feel me? It says, and I will destroy those who used to worship me, but now no longer do. Verse 6. They no longer ask for Yah's guidance, or even seek my blessings, because they getting blessed enough on the other side. Same memes that said the devil could bless too. Remember in the New Testament when the devil tempted the Messiah, he was like, all these things is in my hands to give to you. So all blessings don't come from the Most High, but those blessings come with a price tag, and he don't reveal the price tag until way later, when it's time to pay up. And them prices, if we could see them prices beforehand, a lot of people wouldn't take those gifts. It says a gift that will not benefit you. And that's those gifts right there. They might benefit you for a little while, but in the long run, it wasn't worth it. I can guarantee you that. So let's continue on. Verse 7. Stand in silence in the presence of the sovereign Yah, for the awesome day of Yah's judgment is near. Yah has prepared his people for a great slaughter and has chosen their executioners. On that day of judgment, says Yah, I will punish the leaders and princes of Judah and all those following pagan customs. Yea, I will punish those in pagan worship ceremonies and those who fill their masters' houses with violence and deceit. Hebrews, New Testament, chapter 10, verses 37 through 39. For yet a little while, and he that shall come, and not tarry. Now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back, or turn back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. And that's also in Habakkuk in the Old Testament, chapter 2, verse 4. Verse 39, continuing on. But we are not of them who draw back unto perdition or destruction, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul. So either you believe or you don't. You can't flip-flop. You can't play both sides. New Living Translation. For in just a little while, the coming one will come and not delay, and my righteous ones will live by faith, but I will take no pleasure in anyone who turns away. Verse 39. But we are not like those who turn away from Elohim to their own destruction. We are the faithful ones whose souls will be saved. And my peoples pointed out to me, I took a engagement recently, and it was good at first, but then what they said was bitter in my mouth. I mean, it was good in my mouth, but in my stomach it was bitter, like one of the prophets said about a roll that the Most High had him to eat, a scroll that he had him to eat. And that's basically what happened. Like, it was good in the beginning, but at the end of it, in the long run, it was just so many complications, so many problems that it wasn't worth that good little 30-second high or whatever. It's like, and not to be too carnal, but it's something that happens so people can relate to it. Like, say you met ladies or my brothers. It's like my sisters or my brothers, for real. It's like y'all met somebody online and y'all met up with them, and y'all met not us, not us, because we not carnal. We not thinking carnally. We being spiritual, but like somebody who was being carnal, and he met up with somebody off of social media, and he met up with them for they could smash. Just the only reason why they met up with him for this was to smash. And it happened, and it was great. But then a couple days later, you find out that somebody pregnant. So it was like all that good stuff, all the good feelings and stuff that was right there in the beginning, and now you turn around, now you got a lifetime of things to deal with as a result for the little couple minutes of good feeling. So that's basically was the extent of it, for real. And a lot of that comes from, like I posted before, like a lot of times when you discontent or something like that, or when you like unsure and stuff, is because you are not happy, not satisfied with the Most High gave us. And like it says in 1 Timothy 6 and 8, having food and raiment, let us therewith be content. And there's nothing wrong with having more. There's nothing wrong with being rich, like the scriptures say, if you have not sinned to get that way. But a lot of times, in order to get the stuff that we think is good, we are required to sin to get it, or required to go against the commandments in some way, even if it's something as small as, all right, I got this much money for you, but the show is on the Sabbath. So you thinking on one hand, man, that would be nice to have this much money. But on the other hand, you like, man, I'm going against the laws, the statutes, and commandments of the Most High to get it. So is it really worth it, in the long run? And I've been in those situations, and it's like you get the money, As soon as you get it, just like they say on a lot of times, like as soon as you get the money, so your car get jealous, your car start acting up, or this bill come that you wasn't expecting, or you don't feel good, you gotta go to the hospital, you gotta pay emergency room bills, or whatever the case may be. Stuff like that really happens when you are one of the Most Highs. What they say, if you don't go through chastisement, then are you bastards and not sons. But when you really are a child of the Most High and really devoted to Him, and He's chosen you and handpicked you, it's only so much He lets you do. It's only so far He gonna let you go. Or somebody else could do the same thing as you and nothing happened to them. But when it's you, something gonna happen. We talked about that last week and a couple weeks ago. Like, they not mine, you are. And therefore, as a result of you being His, you gonna get them consequences. But in the long run, it's gonna be a good thing to be His, because you also will get them blessings. You feel me? This is Proverbs 16:8. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right. Proverbs 17:1. Better is a dry morsel and quietness or peace therewith than a house full of sacrifices, feasting with strife and conflict. And remember this one. One of the most important ones to remember. Proverbs 11:4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. And once again, choose you this day whom ye will serve. But as for me and my house, we will serve Yah. Jeremiah 24:15. Pick a side, stay on it. With that being said, much love, much shalom, and prayerfully we'll get together again real soon. Most High willing. Love y'all.